Hey, BassGeek here, and we've got some summer swim bait goodies to unbox from a little bit of everywhere. Hey, BassGeek Nation, we are in the BassGeek headquarters today. Haven't really been able to do a lot of fishing here the past few weeks. Been trying to finish the house up, put the final touches on, doing a lot of work outside, building a retaining wall all by myself. For you guys that know how to do that stuff, good Lord, man, that has proven to be a job. Anyway, getting the landscaping done, doing it all myself. And you know, I'm a 47-year-old fat man out in the 90-degree heat and the humidity of the Appalachian Mountains. It's been tough. So forgive me for not getting the fishing videos out, but I promise you I am going to get out on the water very soon. Almost got things done. The front yard is done. The backyard almost done. Got somebody to come in to level off because, again, I live in the mountains. As a matter of fact, I'll show you a little view out of the BassGeek window. Yes, that is a mountain in front of my house. So, and it looks exactly like that in the back of my house too. Okay, so all that being said, listen guys, I got some really cool stuff in from a couple of different places. Got some swim baits that I'm going to test out. Can't wait to test them out. And I got a couple of tips. Literally one is a tip that I'm going to show you guys in this video. So the very first thing I want to start with is this little box right here. This little box right here is actually a reel, which reels seem to be hard to find these days. But this is actually a reel from Lew's. Now, this is actually going to pair, this is what I call my, I'm not going to say medium or heavy or big even, swim bait rod, but when we're talking about soft plastic swim baits, those 5, 6, 7 inchers, this is my go-to rod. Now, speaking of the tip, I don't know if you can see that, but I broke the ceramic out of it. This is a Creature. It's a 7.3 heavy fast action. And so what I like to use it for is when I'm throwing anything in that, sorry about bumping the table. What I like to do is throw that when I'm throwing, you know, weighted heads, or, you know, those 7 inches, let's say from 3/4 to all the way up to 1 ounce and a half, 1 3/4 ounces. So bigger, heavier weights so that I can fish those swim baits a little faster. And so the tip that I'm going to give you, if I can find it here, I know I just had it. So the tip I want to show you with that, pun intended, is that this is a tip that I actually broke off going out my front door the other day from another rod. But always keep those broke rods because the eyes and the tips can be salvaged. Now, I will tell you, sometimes it is a little tougher to salvage the tip than the eye, but it can be done. You just have to heat it up very slowly and work it very slowly. Not a lot of pressure. Don't squeeze on this too much or you will break the rod tip off in that tip. But there is nothing wrong with that ceramic, and if I can salvage it, it should fit that tip very nicely. So save those broke rods. You can replace eyelets on the rods that you're going to be currently using. Now, this is a Super Duty wide. I'm a BB1 Pro when it comes to my swim baits. That's my go-to. This reel is actually designed, it is a wide spool, which I do want because I am going to be making long casts. Of going to be using these baits a lot of times to ledge fish. So out in the open, want to cast past that school of fish. It's a little bigger, but that's a good, big, hefty rod. So we're going to see how this works out. These are really designed for like A-rigs, your bigger swim baits, which this is the exact reel that I have on my big swim bait rod, that I'm going to throw those big 9-inch bull shad and those 9-inch swim baits, those bigger hard body swim baits. So I'm going to give it a shot and see what kind of distance I can get out of it. But this is the Super Duty, the loose Super Duty speed spool, and I've got it. And the biggest reason you can't find the 6 speeds right now in loose, and this is a 6.4, and that's the speed I like. For me, everybody's different. Everybody's cadence, natural cadence, in other words, the natural rhythm that you turn the handle, is a little bit different. Mine is about that right there. With these, when you're fishing these swim baits, it needs to be this or even slower. Slow as you go on the swim baits. Anyway, all that being said, we're going to give that a try. We'll tell you how it goes. We'll do a review on it later on. Now, we got a little something else in here. So for you guys that film, whether you're doing a YouTube videos or not, and I tell people this all the time, film while you're on the water, okay? It can protect you if situations go wrong. You will have documented footage of who was in the wrong or the right. B, if you organize that film and those fish catches properly, and you are able to put that on, some sort of disc and save them by dates, you'll actually over time create an easy to see fishing log. Okay, so you'll begin to learn about the time when certain bites start to work. So at the end of every fish catch, one of the things you might want to do is walk up to the camera, or if you've got a chest mount, just say the date, the water color, the air temperature, and the water temperature. And now you can cut it right at the end of that fish catch, and you begin to put those together over time, and you create a fishing log, a video version of a fishing log. And you wouldn't believe how much that has helped me out over the years. Now, we're going to check a few things out here. One of the things that I always use, again, from YOLO Tech, is this little handy dandy thing. You can move it in all different ways, but it holds your cell phone. That's actually what is holding my cell phone right now as I'm talking to you. Always keep a spare. You tighten them down because I'm afraid to lose my phone in the lake, which I have done more than one occasion. But this is what I'm super excited about, because having to change batteries on that chest mount, it just stinks. And, I just don't like the whole over the shoulder thing. Number one, I don't like looking at people's jaws and their mouths, and, I don't know. I'm just weird, like some people have feet fetish. I don't have that. I think feet are gross. I think kind of looking at a mouth is gross too. But this is a juice box by YOLO Tech. So it's a battery. And so I don't remember the exact specs on it, but I know you're supposed to be able to get, in just regular recording. I'm sure it's going to be shorter on a hot day. Let's see what we got here. 6 hours. Powers on a camera for approximately 6 hours. Recharges in approximately 7 hours, so it does take a while to recharge. That's the one thing you might want to check. But what I love about it, as you can see on the box, it actually hooks up to your GoPro mounts. And so it's actually got a little camera mount right there. So we're going to give that a try, see what it's like. like I said, I am really excited about this. I've got to get it charged up. Yes, it's showing that it's got a full charge. So, and apparently this is a lithium. So it's 7,800 or 7,800 milliamps. Inputs 5 volts, outputs 5 volts, 2 amps. Inputs 5 volt, 1 amp. Like I said, the amp's a little higher on that. It would charge faster. But anyway, all that being said, you guys know I'm a huge fan of YellowTech products. There is a link in the description. It does help the channel when you use that and go buy products, whether it be the Power Stick, which I'm a huge fan of. I actually keep 2 of them because I'm real bad about getting in the bushes and bending them over and breaking them. And trust me, they can take a lot. But when I tell you people, if you knew how hard I am on stuff, it would blow your mind. I'm the guy that just rags everything I own out. I'm just that way. So if I tell you it's durable, trust me, you can take it to the bank. My friends used to tell me that I just trash everything. I just use it until it's used up and then it's gone. All right. Now, this is from my buddies over at Ledgehead. All right. And so, just kind of got a few extras here. But Ledgehead, as you know, is one of my absolute favorite swim bait heads on the market. Absolutely love them. They're great. Good heavy wire hooks. So these are going to be things that 90% of the time I'm going to recommend you throw on bait casting equipment, okay? These are heavy wire. You're going to set the hook hard to the side. Remember that from our swim bait videos. And I'm going to go through. These are kind of my go-to sizes for, say, a 3.5 version of the swim baits that I'm going to reveal to you here at the end, or the 5.5 inch version, and that could be a 5 to a 6 inch version, whether it be a BassGeek or whatever style of bait. Now we're going to start with one of my favorite things to fish out deep or anywhere during the time of year. That's going to be the Ledgehead Tennessee River Bling, and that is one of my favorite sizes right there. The 1/2 ounce 4/0 for those 3.5. Okay, 4/0 hook. Trust me on this. Don't be afraid of the big hooks. Don't be afraid of them and go, oh, I want to get a 3. No, don't do it. Then we're going to go up. Also for the smaller baits, the 1/2 ounce, also in a 4/0. This is just the micro Ledgehead. Now, I do use 1/2 ounce, but this is going to be when I'm going to the Kitex. This is when I do downsize that hook. The Kitex style, the rib style baits, that's when I'm going to go to a 3. So a 3.3 or a 3.8, I want to get them down there deep. That's going to be when I use the 3/0, 1/2 ounce 3/0 in the Tennessee River Bling, which is their underspin. Same with the 1/2 ounce. Here we have the 1/2 ounce. This is when we're going to use those smaller bodied swim baits. That is a 1/2 ounce and a 3/0. That is going to be for those ribbed swim baits. Get them down there deep, really get them just grinding on the bottom, okay? Then we come to the 2 favorite versions. I'm going to show you how to rig these. My 2 favorite versions of the original Ledgehead. The original Ledgehead, and guys, one of the things I love is the spring. Trust me, it keeps the bait up there. It saves the bait. Some guys like to use super glue. I hate super glue. You get it on your pants, you get it on your carpet. Some guys think that it helps save baits. No, trust me. This right here, if you put it on correctly, will save your baits. It is a huge, oversized spring. I promise that will not pull a bait off. You'll catch several fish, even on the hollow bodies. And with that run right arm, that is my favorite 1/2 ounce 6/0. That is for the 5s to the 6s. Stay with that 6/0. Do not go to a 5. Do not go to a 5. And this is just a little heavier, the 3/4. with a 6/0. All mustad hooks. You guys know I'm a big fan of mustad. And that's, you know, it's a big, heavy, very sharp, stays sharp hook. That's why I'm a big fan of mustad. All right. Let's talk Tackle Warehouse. Let's talk some swim baits. Now, there are some finesse heads in here that I have become a huge fan of. You've seen them a lot during our tournament series earlier in the year, the Limits Tournament Series. Go check that playlist out. Guys, we fished tournaments from a lot of the Kentucky lakes like Cumberland, Dale Hollow, the Barren, to South Holston, Cherokee Douglas, Watts Bar. You know, over the years, there's a ton of videos out there, you know, covering a lot of lakes in my wider region. But something that I used a whole lot this year and something that I really like because it's got a light wire hook, okay? So these I'm going to throw generally when I'm really finessey, a lot of times for smallmouth and a lot of times for you know, I'm going to throw these on a spinning reel with lighter line. Now, this is a little heavier. This is the 1/4 ounce, and this is the Finesse ball head by Cumberland Lures. Now, these generally I'm going to throw on those real finessey swim baits, okay? But I really love those. They've got a light wire Gamakatsu hook in them. This is a 3/8 ounce. Now those I'm going to fish really deep. The shallower ones, this is kind of my go-to. That 1/4 ounce and this 1/8 ounce is generally, the 1/8 ounce is generally what I'm going to fish when I'm throwing right at the bank, 90% of the time. And that's just a good size of a head. Now, what I want to show you is a bait that I've kind of found I've kind of been dying to test, and it's by Big Bite Baits. It's called the Suicide Shad. This is the Tour Series. And as always, when I want to test something, I get me a few different colors. This is the Suicide Shad, and that is a 5-inch, and it is in the pearl. Always got to have a good solid white. Now this one, these are all 5-inch, all Suicide Shad. This is the Gizzard Shad. Good looking, more solid color right there. Got a little bit of sparkle to it, a little bit of that blue on the back. Good looking bait. This one, very translucent for that clear water. This is the pearly with a Y shad. Hope you can see that. This is another one I really didn't think was going to be this translucent, but this is a blue gizzard shad. And that's really translucent. I really like that. This color, maybe. This is their Chartreuse shad. Now, a lot of times when I'm going to throw this color is when I'm going to be fishing around smallmouth. Probably earlier in the season or out deep. I don't know. I've got mixed emotions about that color. So those are going to be the things that I'm going to be testing. That's the stuff that I got in. So let me show you real quick how to put one of these ledge heads on. So I'm going to pre-rig one up. I'm going to pick one of the clear ones. The pearly shad. I like that color. One stayed put. I like that. It's got a little, you can't see it unless you turn it the right way, but it actually has like this red. That's crazy. Like, I don't know if you can see it. Like, it looks clear right there, but if you turn it, it's got an unusual that's pretty neat. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do with these heads is you actually want to lay it. So you're going to want to bring it up to about right there, And then all you're going to do, most of the time what I do is I'll put a thumb back here, and then I'll take and actually just poke me a hole right in the middle of that bait. So now I know right where my hook is going to come out. Now these do have a split belly, and you want to go in dead center top, okay? And what I like to do is just come right out the front of that split belly. Now, of course, you're going to take that loose and bend it. I bend it straight down. And then what I do is just turn it around. I find that hole that I poked earlier. There we go. Now we're out. You'll see it's kind of scrunched up. So the very next thing I do is I pull back and lift. I push that down. You want to make that nose fat. You're going to bend that tail over and come around. So just bend that tail over and come around. Push it down there, bend the tail over, and come around. So then once you get it screwed all the way up on there, all you do is push this in, and there's a little hook. You'll just hook it up. Now, one thing you're going to have to make sure is that you're straight. If this head right here ever gets into the nose, you can actually take some pliers and bend that up just so slightly. But as you can see, we've got it rigged up perfectly straight on our bait. Now, you really have to pay attention on these smaller baits that the wire that you really fatten the head, you press the head up against the nose so that you get behind the eyes. That is a big spring. It's going to hold that bait on there really tight. It is not coming off, but that is how you put one on. All right, guys, so that's everything. We gave you some good, helpful tips in here. Hope you're out there catching them, unlike me right now, who is doing the honeydew or the home DIY list that I've got to get done for this. Hopefully we're going to get out there real soon, though, because you know this is my favorite time of year. We've got some graph videos coming out, planned to come out for you, and we'll see how it all goes. All right, as always, any sort of questions or comments about these baits, let me know, or just leave a question down there. You guys, as I always say, you know I love to talk about fishing. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and make sure you guys check, see if you're still subscribed, because for whatever reason, YouTube hates me. They hate fishing. They hate outdoorsmen. So make sure you check and see if you're subscribed and that bell is rung so that you guys get the notifications when these videos come out. You won't get the notification unless that bell is rang. So ring my bell, pretty please. And as always, you guys rock.